Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everybody. Glad you could join me here for our Friday review. This is our Fun Friday podcast where we go over really a lot of things that have been going on over the last week, but also make sure that you know what's coming up over the next week or two so that you don't miss out. But what I want to go over today is just new things that I'll be adding to some of our Friday reviews. I want to give you some quick tips. And so what I want to do every single Friday is bring you at least 2 research studies that I think is going to dramatically help you, a family member, a loved one, or if you're a practitioner, you'll be able to use in your practice. So it's always truly integrative. I'll share with you conventional medicine-based things that are going on. I'll share with you naturopathic, bioregulatory medicine, herbal, etc. So I always want to make sure that I'm keeping you up to date on that, latest and greatest. I know we did a lot of that a couple years ago with the virus. I was always giving you those updates. I always want to go over a book review or a product review. We'll be doing that. And then just a couple quick tips, things that I know that our community will use with their family and of course, their loved ones as well. So just getting started here today. I shared with you last week, back in New England for the summer season. I know that it's not quite summer yet, but for me, anything post Memorial Day, feels a lot like summer because you're just moving into that season, and summer in New England is maybe 8 weeks, right? Maybe 8 weeks. So we try to extend it for as long as we can. For me, though, I love that cool weather. I love that crisp weather getting into it. And what I try to do is take advantage of the season. So you could be anywhere in the world. I know we have a lot of people from Australia listening to the show. Our summer is your winter, and I'm using winter in air quotes for much of Australia. But what I want to share with you is I use this time where it's not too hot yet to be able to get in more of those AM walks, right? So I want to share with you, I'm using now a continuous glucose monitor, ongoing. I've always shared with people, typically 30 days, you get to know a feel for what meals are causing the biggest spike in glucose. But again, I always let people know, you need to only be worried when your glucose isn't coming back down, within 2-3 hours of that meal. And then that's also, you'll see why you don't want to be grazing and eating all day long with your, blood sugar up and down, up and down, up and down. But anyway, I digress. What I want to share with you is that I've noticed, though, with continuous glucose monitor, there's a dramatic difference when I go for a 20, 30-minute walk after a meal, right? It just lowers that postprandial glucose spike tremendously, and especially at breakfast. So then I don't get a bigger spike. I get more of a gradual one, and then it comes back down. I then wait for lunch. If I can get a walk in after lunch or right before, great, that's what I do. And then dinner, the same thing. So it's remarkable. The difference is remarkable. It could be a difference of 20 points. So happy to share that with you. And again, we'll share more updates too as to the new company that we're using for continuous glucose monitors. I just want you to know I always test these things out for at least 30 days before making a recommendation to you. And I'm almost ready to make that recommendation. Great product, brand new continuous glucose monitor, meaning it's the latest version of it, which means that it's about half the size. It might be the size of a nickel. That's it, that you actually put on your body, and you don't feel it at all. Whereas the second version, this is version 3, the second version, you can actually feel it a little bit, and it wasn't the most comfortable, right? This one, you literally don't even notice it's there, and it tells you your glucose all day long. Stay tuned for that. A couple weeks from now, I'll be giving that recommendation. All right, the last thing I wanted to share is this. A lot of people are asking, they've seen it at highperformancehealth.org. Yes, I am taking on new clients for the first time in about 3 years. I've literally been working with the same group of VIP clients. It's all I've been able to do with running IHP, with running Equalife, with running my podcast and writing and all of that and research. But now I'm only working with one new client per week, but I want to let you know that yes, I'm happy to work with new people. There's no doubt about it. However, there are 3 options where you can really get the help that you need, the coaching that you need. And everybody needs a coach. I mean, they really do. Like whenever I try to improve my HRV, I got a coach. Whenever I try to improve like peak performance mindset, I got a coach. So like if you're able to do it, I recommend doing it. I really do. So yes, you can work with me one-on-one. It's more of a premium. I mean, it really is. And I'm not going to say that it's not. It is an investment. But for the people who've wanted to work with me, I'm happy to work. I love what I do, and I'm only able to take on 1 new client per week, but I can do that. The second is working with my top health coach, Julia Hayes. So you can work directly with her, but I still oversee your labs and I oversee your wellness plan, right? So you're getting that from me, and Julia, you're working directly with Julia. And the third is actually going to integrativehealthpractitioner.org and finding hundreds of qualified level 2 practitioners that can actually run labs with you and give you professional recommendations that have been certified through my organization, Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, where we teach that next generation of health coaches. So you can really find all different options that work for you. From about $180 to $290 for a month, which typically includes a coaching call and weekly email follow-ups to your questions, to then many thousands of dollars. So it's up to you where you're looking to come in. And we would just want to let you know that is available, right? Those 3 things. You can find my consulting and Julia's at highperformancehealth.org. highperformancehealth.org. It will soon be at stephencabral.com as well, trying to make things easy. But you can also then go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org for typically lower cost options, working with great practitioners as well. All right? All right. What's going on over at Equalife this week? Brand new product debut. That's going to be our product review of the week. I'll talk about that in just a few moments. But it is one of the only, it's one of the only, there's probably just a handful, that's called Daily Detox Support. So this is a product, and I'm going to share with you exactly why in just a moment it was created. But it helps people, especially those with skin-based issues, migraines, autoimmune, a lot of sensitivities, mold, like detox-based issues. And again, I'll share with you how it works, but what I love to be able to do. So I don't know. I don't know if you can tell. I truly love my work. I love reading labs, and I love being able to formulate the top, most efficacious science-backed products out there. And so I saw a specific need for this, for daily detox support for those who need it. I mean, truly. And because there are a lot of people. Not everybody will need it. But what I like to do, if possible, is also say, I want to give this away. I want you to try it for yourself. Just test it out. So this week, all qualifying purchases will actually get a free bottle of our daily detox support. It is a phenomenal product. It's going to last 1 to 2 months, depending on how you're taking it. I'll share that in just a moment. Yours completely free over at stephencabral.com/shop. All right. Podcast recap for the week. The 5 habits that will change your life. Wanted to share that with you because there are so many things that you could do, so many morning routines that you could create. Meditation, this, that, the other thing. What are the things that are actually going to make a difference? That's what I looked at, right? So I always say, set a couple goals, not a million. Now again, there's nothing wrong with this. We all have to kind of go through our own journey. But back in the day, I did something called the 100-day challenge, achieving 100 goals in 100 days. And it was wild. But what I realized was this. I was honestly just creating a to-do list rather than achieving goals. And although you get a lot done, you're totally burnt out by the end of 100 days. And yes, you've got a lot done. And like, there's meaning to that. There really is. Like, it's not a bad thing, but I don't know if you're repeating that more than once a year or maybe every couple years. But by just creating a couple goals that matter, they're going to really move the needle forward. And I bet after you listen to the 5 habits that will change your life, you're probably already doing 1 or 2. So now you just need to add a couple more. All right, check that out. That's episode 2684. The next day's show, 2687, is your diet adding an extra 10.7 years to your life, like this one does? Amazing, because you can look at when you started at 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. Yeah, it was 20, 40, 60, and 80 years old. No matter when you started this diet, it added years to your life. Check that out. Wednesday show, what's holding you back from your weight loss results? I gave you the reason beyond diet and exercise, and I only gave you one reason, and it's the main reason why people are unable to lose weight. Check out that show. That was 2686. 2687 was the 3 reasons why we use red light in our practice. Simple, straightforward, and exactly what we do. And then at the end of the show, I actually thought of one more, so I gave you a little bonus one for regrowing healthy, thick hair as well. All right, so that was episode 2687. Today's show, 2688. You want to head on over to stephencabral.com/2688 now to be able to get all of these links on all of the research that I'm about to share with you. Now, the product that I'm going to break down right now is not one that I can actually link to. We are not allowed to link to nutritional supplements from a podcast. That is FDA regulations. Obviously, I used to do it years and years ago, would love to be able to do it again, not able to. So what I'd like to do is just share with you, you can find this product at stephencabral.com/shop. Okay? So this product is called the Daily Detox Support. For those of you who have done the sometimes called Dr. Cabral Detox, but I like to call it the Equal Life Detox, you will know that this product looks very similar to the FM Detox. And there's a reason why it works, right? We've been using this now for many, many years. Well, the FM Detox contains specific nutrients to do something that your body doesn't typically get. I'm going to share with you why. People always say, you don't need to do anything for your liver because it's always detoxing your body 24/7. Yeah, that's correct. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be here. That's the truth. But if anybody, and I urge you, anybody, and you want to see if you're removing every toxin from your body, run the glyphosate test. Run the minerals and metals test. Run the environmental toxicity test, because I'm guaranteeing you that you're not. I'm guaranteeing you that some of these metals and any one of the 100,000 plus man-made chemicals are in your body, right? If you've read The Rain Barrel Effect, you know all the data. There's over 300 scientific citations from that. There's the skeptics, like those at National Geographic and other places that actually did articles, didn't expect to find any toxins in their body, yet there were. So again, I'm not asking you to be a believer. I'm just sharing with you what the research shows. There's 100,000 plus man-made chemicals in the environment. All right, so most of us get the vitamins and minerals we need. That's the truth. Like most of us get the vitamins and minerals we need to be able to work on what's called phase 1 detox, okay? That basically means there's harmful toxins in your body, they might be fat soluble, and you basically break them down to what's called an intermediary metabolite. Sounds like no big deal, right? The problem is that creates lots of oxidative damage if it's not moved through phase 2. Why aren't most people moving through phase 2? Because they're not eating enough onions, garlic, cruciferous vegetables, sulfur-based foods, right? So if you're not eating enough sulfur-based foods, what are you not getting? You're not getting enough glycine. You're not getting enough taurine. You might not be getting enough like sulforaphane, making enough methionine. So all of these things allow for sulfur-based amino acids to take this intermediary metabolite and turn it into something that's harmless, water-soluble, so you can excrete it through your urine or your stool or maybe even your sweat. So what the Daily Detox Support does is it gives you that phase 2 detoxification. So yes, I want you to eat your 7 to 9 servings in fruits and vegetables every day. I want, with the predominance of that from vegetables. But if you're not, I at least want you to safeguard that. Or let's say you're having your mercury amalgams or your fillings taken out and replaced. Let's say you're going through a mold protocol, a detox. Well, you already get this with your detox protocol, of course. We want that. Let's say you're going through the heavy metal, you're going through the intestinal cleanse, you're going through the parapro, you're going through something other protocol, or you have a lot of sensitivities in general. This can help you simply detox faster. It helps your liver do what it's supposed to do to a greater degree and get more out of your body. So you can read all of the ingredients. You'll see them all there. It has chlorella and the milk thistle. It has a grapeseed extract, dandelion extract, scasanza fruit, Chinese skullcap, barberry root. It has artichoke leaf. It has beetroot. It has bladderwrack, raspberry leaf, and so much more. So these things, again, have all been scientifically proven from both Ayurvedic medicine and, of course, conventional-based studies to do what it says it's supposed to do. So these are taken as 2 capsules, 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner. You can take 2 just at breakfast if you want, or 2 at dinner. That's totally fine. And that's just normal dosage. That'll last you about 2 months. Some people who want to ramp it up to a greater degree can do, if they're an adult, they can do a larger amount. They could do 2 at breakfast and 2 at dinner for up to about a month to 2 months. And then they can drop down to 1 serving per day. So just wanted to share this with you. Again, if you look at the Dr. Cabral Detox at Equilife, it has over 1,000 5-star reviews. It is a product that works. We don't curate that. That is reviews that are really coming in. So I wanted to share that with you. That is our product review of the week. And again, this week, it's free. So I hope that I'm not trying to push it too hard. It's literally free with all qualifying orders. You can find that right now at stevencabral.com/shop. All right, quick tip of the week before we get to our research. This is interesting. And again, our community knows that we don't use Teflon pans. We don't use nonstick pans. We don't use aluminum pans. And if you don't know why, please check out previous podcasts, or even you can just ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. Free group, happy to answer those questions. Okay, so you're using some type of stainless steel pan, maybe a copper pan, maybe cast iron, maybe glass, etc. But we know that sometimes you can get some food that gets stuck to the bottom of that isn't so easy to remove. So what do? You want to stay all natural. You don't want to put those cancer-causing Teflon into your body. Found a quick tip from maryjanesfarm.org. Don't know the website, but helpful tip. And I'm going to give you my own after I give you Mary Jane's. Pour 1/4 cup of salt into the pan and add just enough of water to cover the burned on food or stuck food. Let it sit overnight. The stuck-on burnt mess should wash off easily the next day, or boil the salt water in the burned pan for just a few minutes before letting it sit overnight. So I can tell you what we do in our house. That is basically what we do. Or we use a all-natural liquid soap detergent with squeezed lemon juice in there. And we actually put that back on while the pan's hot. So it's kind of like boiling, but not. And we let that sit. And it actually, because lemon juice is what's called a surfactant. And it actually helps lift that grime off of the pan. So I haven't tried the salt water one yet. I know it works though. A lot of great reviews on that. So salt water, or give a shot the little bit of the liquid detergent, all natural, of course, with some lemon juice, or maybe even just lemon juice by itself would work. All right, that's the quick tip of the week. Don't go with nonstick. Go with an all natural remedy to remove that. All right, next up, I wanted to share with you. Let's see, do I have time for these? Yes, I want to go over 2 for the prostate. Just keep in mind, almost every male, by the time they reach 70 years old, will have some type of prostatitis, inflammation of the prostate, as well as cancer cells growing in the prostate. It's an unfortunate state that we're in. I do believe over the next decade to 2 decades, we'll be able to solve this. But in the meantime, there's a lot that we can do. Let me share with you a couple of helpful tips. So I've been talking about this. Why don't I link it up today? I talked about a full body MRI just a few weeks ago. I went for my own full body MRI. It was an easy experience. It was a fantastic experience, and they can actually help look for things like benign cysts or potentially precancerous-based lesions in the body. And again, as I was told, and it's very wise advice, you're going to find out anyways. When do you want to find out? Better to know early when you can do something about it, right? Okay, well, here's something. MRI, targeted prostate biopsy, reduces overdiagnosis. So here's what they did. Men with elevated PSA scores who had MRIs of their prostates underwent fewer unnecessary tests and treatments than men who received standard biopsies. Any intermediate cancers that MRI missed could be safely managed with an active surveillance. If your annual PSA test is high, get retested and discuss with a urologist about getting an MRI rather than a biopsy. So why do I recommend this as well? Again, I'm not providing any medical advice, but what would I do for my own self? Get an MRI. A non-contrast MRI, at least to start, because there's no harmful radiation. There's no harmful chemicals being injected into your body. You're using magnetic imaging rather than radiation-based contrast imaging. And so if you're looking at your PSA, which isn't perfect, and you're looking at let's just call it a whole body MRI without contrast, that's pretty fantastic, right? And so if you don't see anything, there most likely isn't anything. And if your PSA is elevated, it could simply be inflammation. All right, and that saves you a biopsy, because a biopsy can disturb the prostate and actually then create cancer from there. All right, I'm gonna give you one more. I wanted to do it around the prostate, but let's see if I can get in even one more after that. We'll see. Actually, we're gonna keep it at this, and I'm gonna save my water with reducing basically all-cause mortality. I'm going to share that next week as well. All right, so exercise can fight prostate health. I really wanted to be a public service announcement because every male will deal with this issue. So a single session of intense exercise on a stationary bike boosted production of myokines, an anti-cancer protein that suppresses tumor growth for advanced stage prostate cancer patients. In previous studies, cancer patients who exercise regularly had slower disease progression and better survival rate. Regular intense exercise may change the body's chemical environment, making it less hospitable to cancers. That means cancers don't like it. They're not going to grow. These results provide strong evidence for recommendations that patients with prostate cancer should try at least most days. This, though, I want to share with you is not just for prostate. I learned this many, many years ago as a young personal trainer and nutritionist, going back to the early 2000s. A personal trainer who was very well known, had stage 4 cancer, and was doing cardio 5 days a week. When all of us back then were like, cardio? What are you doing cardio for? All you need is like high intensity interval training, this, that, and the other thing. What we didn't realize was that cardio and aerobic-based cardio, moving the circulation, oxygenating the body, is absolutely essential for a healthy body. It's not just about weight training, it's also about cardio. It's not just about anaerobic, it's about aerobic-based exercise too, and specifically for issues around cardiovascular disease, blood pressure, and cancer. So I wanted to share that with you today. Yes, I will link up all the research. I will link up the Daily Detox Support. Actually, I can't link up the Daily Detox Support. That's at stephencabral.com/shop. But I will link up previous podcasts and anything else that I find helpful at stephencabral.com/2688. Have an amazing weekend. I'll be back answering more of your questions tomorrow on our Cabral House Calls. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.